Hi and welcome to the second round of the Sim Racing Team Challenge Black Cup. This is the Nordschleife, aka the Green Hell, and it's the time for the home race for RPM, the Rolling Pipe Maniacs. I'm Andreas Pultien and I will be filling in for Eckhart von Glan, who is having some troubles today, so I hope I do everything as good as he does. As usual, I have Jose Estrada taking care of all the technical stuff. Hello, Jose.
Hello, Andreas, and good luck for your debut, like mine commentator.
Yeah, I will need it. I will definitely need it. We also have David Garcia in the first of the safety cars, and Vicente Garcia in the other safety car at the back of the grid. So, Jose, what are your thoughts about the race?
Well, this track is always complicated, so I expect a lot of incidents in the race, because mistakes here are really common. Drivers don't get to know the track as well as in other more classical GP layouts, so in this Nordschleife, Germans will kill me for this pronunciation. I think we will see an interesting race, but really full of incidents and really complicated.
Yeah, it's a very, very narrow track, and the only real passing opportunity is at the end of the lap after the long straight. Do you have any idea how long it is? It must be 2 kilometers or something.
Well, really don't know. I think Eckhart now is saying, "Oh, come on, I had that information," but I think it's longer than. I think it's like 5. Hope somebody jumps in later and tell us exactly the length of the track.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's at least long, and if you got a good slipstream, you can pass maybe up to 2-3 cars, depending on how tight the battles are. Also, the track is quite long, so there will not be a full safety car lap. The field will get underway after the Flygplats bridge. I hope I pronounced it correct, or at least had the name correct. Anyways, that is of course because of the long track here. Lap times will be about 6:40 to 7 minutes for the top guys. In the dry, that is, and by the looks of it, it's going to rain in the race, or at least be a bit damp. And I don't think anybody anticipated the rain in the race.
No, it was expected for the practice and qualifying sessions, but it seems that it came late. So it seems that it rained between the qualifying and the warm-up, because in the qualifying it was not raining, but the track was wet, so that means it rained before.
So going to the grid then, in pole position for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, we have Roland Ehnström, the virtual WTCC winner, and probably the most famous name on the grid. He's a lightning fast driver, and I think he did a lap of 6:47 or something like that when he set the pole position time. Behind him we have Thor Qualman from DHR GP. DHR GP, who won the race at Silverstone with Vincent Stoll behind the wheels, but also had a DNF, and they are only in 6th place despite the win in the championship. But early in the season, and a lot will still change. Peter Duivelaar, and I apologize for the pronouncement of the name, is in 3rd for Roaring Pipe Maniacs. Kevin Clark, for Flat Out Racing in the beautiful Porsche is in 5th, followed by the Black Rebels driver Andreas Löffler. Lee Ross for Flat Out Racing is in 7th, with the second DMS BMW Fredrik Tackman in 8th. Gary Lennon for Black Visor Motorsport in 9th, with Luke Kogotti in 10th. His teammate Gaetan Legasdelois is in 11th, again for the pronunciation. Mike Wrightson for the DHR Fanatec in 12th. Behind him, John Westerlund in 13th, followed by Paul Bordeaux, Mikael Hell, Neil Gould, Christer Larsson, David Clark, Peter Kuhl, Michael Hart, Michael Lars, Julian Dufresne. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody. So David Garcia taking the field around to the start line in the beautiful BMW he's driving, specially made for the Sim Racing Team Challenge. And Jose, maybe you can tell us a little bit briefly about the pace car.
Well, it's a mod that was out there for a long time, but not really working online. So I had to ask a lot of people to modify it to work in online races, and we managed to do it the day before the second try of the first race of the season. So we are very proud of this pace car. I think it gives a lot of power to the race.
Yeah, it's definitely a good addition to the league. It makes it look very, very professional. The team is about to enter the last corner of the formation lap, and Roland Ehnström brings them around the corner, and under the bridge they come, and the race is on. Oh, wide going in for third place there. I think Leffler attacked Peter Duivelaar. And as far as I can see, no big accident or anything like that so far.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, it seems that Andreas Loeffler gained 2 or 3 positions. Am I right?
Yeah, I think he passed the V-Ross, I think, flat out racing. So he took 1 position in the start, and he is up to 4th on his home track, sort of. He is German, so it's pretty much a home track for him. But already there is starting to be a little bit of a gap in front of Andreas. Roland Ehnström, Thor, Qualman and Peter Duivelaar are all starting to pull out a little gap. But it's still very, very early in the race, and a lot will happen in this race. But amazing speed already by the guys in front. Also, Michael Hart-Jones seems to have ended the race. I'm not sure why, but I think he had some problems before as well, so it might be something due to that. And I think that's the only one who has suffered any problems so far, as Thor Qualman gets really out of shape going out of one of the turns. For P8 we have a closer battle up front, as Gary Lennon is followed very closely by Ludovic Kogotti. That Gary Lennon almost made a pass on Fredrik Trackman. But as I said before, the track is very, very narrow and difficult to pass, so I think most of the passing will be due to mistakes by the guy in front. And also, I think in the background, the 2 Project D racers swap places with each other. And indeed they did. I think it was in the carousel, the famous carousel, which is really, really hard. Only one line, and you really have to go into the banking and stay there, because if you drop out of the banking, it's easy to go into the fall, despite the speeds being very, very low. But Gaetan Legastel Lewis is now in 9th out of Bugatti in 10th. So let's go to the guys at the back and walk our way through the field just to show you how they are. In P20 for Flat Club in the beautiful Musler is David Clark. And well, he is a couple of seconds behind Mike Wrightson for the HR Fanatec. In 19th we have Christer Larsson for Blue Flag Racing. And in front of him, Julian de Fresne. Pretty big gaps at the back of the pack so far. In front of Julian we have Mikael Larsson, the second blue flagger. And in front of him his Swedish compatriot Peter Kull for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual 2. And if I'm not mistaken, the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual 2 team is using the same livery as the first team used last year. Is that correct, Jose? Well, I guess you didn't pay any attention to me at that time. Anyway.
Yes, sorry, I was just checking. I think so, but I'm not sure. Okay. You know, here I have a black and white screen, so it's difficult for me to know in the console if they are using exactly the same. I think it has, it's similar, but it has some things that are different for what I'm able to see now.
Maybe so, and just as we spoke to each other, Peter just passed Neil Gold in the BVM BMW on the long straight, as I told you guys before. Pretty much the only real passing place on the track, despite it being so long. So Peter Kull up one position. In front of Peter Kull we have Mikael Hellen in the TBR Ferrari. And he's about a second behind Paul Bordeaux in the Team GG Ferrari. And they might be in for a challenge battle around P12 there. John Westerlund is in P11 for in the second DMSv 2 Corvette. A lot of letters and and numbers to keep track of. Ludwig Kogot is still in 10th. And he's following Gary Lennon still, so... And actually Gary Lennon has been passed by Legastel Lewis. I'm still really lacking on that name. But I'm doing my best. So have patience with me. And David Garcia is back in the booth after driving the pace lap. So David, was the pace lap good from your point of view?
Hey, good night, good afternoon. Yes, it was good, Andreas. I think it was clean. There were no big incidents. Only a car visited the grass for one time, but it was good, as usual.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And just as we thought, something else happened. Actually, Ken Clark race, and I think the Project E driver Legastel Lewis just went off track and he lost the position back to Gary Lennon. So Gary Lennon back in 8th and Kevin Clark down to 7th. A lot happening as we speak. And Fredrik Tackman in the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual BMW up to P6. as Ken Clark has a little moment again. What do you guys think?
Andreas, now we have the three cars in the top of the race. They're really close now. It's really an interesting fight.
So we move back up to P1, 2 and 3 as the top 3 are still together, and I think Peter Duivelaar is going to make an attack on Thor Qualman very soon. What do you guys think?
Well, I was thinking about it. What would you do in the case of being in that group? What do you think? What place is the best to make an overtake in Nordschleife? I think it's not the best circuit to overtaking.
No, you're right. We mentioned it a couple of times before, but the track is narrow, and I think the best position to make a pass is at the long straight at the very end of the track. And maybe it's a good idea just to keep your position and go with the flow, so to speak, as they come into the carousel. A really cool corner on the track, very special. Yeah, I think keep your position and try to just keep the tempo up and pull away from the others, and then maybe try to pass somebody in the pit stops or make a dive on the inside.
Yes, but for what I can see, it looks like Roland is under very big pressure from the DHR car. So in this case, it's not an option to keep your pace and open a gap. For me, it looks like the option now is keep your pace and try to defend yourself from the cars coming behind.
Oh, big slide there by Qualman. But yeah, you're right. I don't think Roland will be able to pull out a gap as it seems right now, and I think Thor and Peter are the faster gaps at the moment. But for those two, maybe it's better to just stay behind, because at the moment they don't seem to be challenged from behind by anybody. It's a big gap back to Andreas Löffler, so at the moment maybe stay where you are and hope Roland makes a mistake and then make something out of it then. But Thor Qualman is really having some slides out there and damp Nordschleife. What do you guys think? Are they running slicks or are they running with tires?
Well, for what the drivers were talking after the last week race at Silverstone, the weather was almost the same or very similar to the weather we're having today at Nordschleife. Everybody used slick tires, so I think they are on a slick as well.
Okay. So let's see now if Peter Duivelaar can really get into the slipstream of the Qualman Corvette as they are on the long straight, and it doesn't really seem that he can pull it up. And left here, so yeah, maybe he will make a dive into the inside as they both catches Roland Ehnström, and I think Thor are aiming to pass him, but it will be very difficult. Only centimeters between the cars now.
Whoa! It is very close racing.
Yep, indeed it is. But respect from all of them, and that's good to see. As Thor touches the inside wall a little bit in the last corner.
There is a great fact in that close racing, Andreas. At least in my opinion, because when you come to a circuit like Nordschleife, you are maybe expecting big gaps between the cars and maybe not big fights, because the length of the track, it's a very long lap distance. So when you reach a circuit like this one and you see this close racing, it's maybe the last thing you are expecting, and it's a big surprise and a good surprise.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just hope that they can keep doing this for the entire race to keep the audience and us very, very happy, and it's really enjoying to see it. Great racers and huge respect for each other, and very, very fast. So a demanding track. So we have all the ingredients for a good race here.
Because Andreas, do you really think the race will be decided in the pits, or do you think that maybe the Thor or Peter are faster than Roland at this time?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think the pits is a good opportunity to make a pass. I'm not sure who is actually the fastest around here, but at the moment Thor and Peter don't seem to have any problems following Roland. So. And Thor is really, really close now.
Yes, but Roland doesn't have problems neither to be being followed that close. Looks like he can handle this pressure very well.
Yeah,
maybe he's setting a pace he knows he can do for a long time without a single mistake, and he knows it's difficult to overtake in this track, and maybe is doing that really in doing everything under control.
And on my screen, Mikael Larsen seems to have ended the race, so the bad results for BFR seems to continue as they didn't take any points in the first round. And it's a real shame, actually. And yeah, they have who is it? Christer Larsen is too many Larsens in Blue Flag Racing, but Christer Larsen is the only Blue Flag racer left in the second race of the Black Cup. And what do you think about the tire wear and the car versus car? For example, the BMW versus the Corvette, as it looks like now that the Corvette seems to be a bit more slidey than the BMW.
Yeah, well, they are... oh, look, there is Thor, it's in the grass, and now it's Peter taking position 2.
And Roland got a bit of a gap now because of that. So maybe that answered my questions a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, Andreas. Exactly. It's the answer for your question, because definitely the Corvette, even if it's a very powerful engine, it's more slidey and more difficult to handle on the corners. So the Beamers have a little advantage on here, I would say.
And he's really sliding all over the place, Qualman now. But seems to be in pretty much control of the slides, so maybe it's a bit of his driving style as well, going sideways. A bit of a McCoy style.
Yes, but look at him in the last corners, Andres, and I would say that he is having some kind of problems, because now there is even a gap with Peter.
Yeah, he's dropping back.
Now
he's off the track
on
at
the
the
grass
moment.
again. Yeah, exactly.
Lost another few seconds there, but I don't think he damaged the car or anything. It was just a light touch to the barriers.
Yeah, looks like it. I would say that he's out of the fight for the race at this moment. Maybe he can manage to go back, but he's out again. He's in the grass again.
Off track again. Yep, he's having some real problems at the moment. And also Roland Ehnström has pulled up out a little gap now because of all of this. Of about a second and a half. So it will be interesting to see if Peter can pull that gap in, or if it will increase. We also have a big fight for P6 with Fredrik Pachman in the second DMSv BMW, as he tries to fend off Kevin Clark from Flat Out Racing. Flat Out Racing had a really disappointing first race, as none of the Flat Out teams managed to score any points, but here it looks a lot better. What do you guys think? Will they be able to finish this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they will finish the race, and I really would like to see the Flat Out guys in the higher spots of the race. They really deserve it. They really work for it, and bit of luck, not as it was in Silverstone. They used to be fighting for the podium, or fighting for the top 10 at least.
Yeah, we know by previous seasons they are one of the fastest teams, and but somehow they usually have some bad luck with the engine failures and stuff like that when they are up in the top positions. Now let's see if he can pull into the slipstream, and he does pull to the outside. And I don't know, maybe the Porsche can out-drag the BMW here on the long straight. Still side by side. But I think he will have to tuck in behind if he will make this path work. Yes, he does. Well, not this time around, I think. He will have to tuck in behind again. No, he tries to look a bit on the outside in the chicane, but no room to pass there. Moving up the order a little bit to position 4 and 5, Andreas Leffer for TBR, and he is followed by Lee Ross in the second Flat Out Racing Porsche, another one of the two-man battles on the track at the moment. And yeah, he's closing in. I think Andreas had a quite big gap before, but maybe the Ferrari is also suffering from tire wear. As I know from my own experience, it is also pretty heavy on the tires.
Yeah, maybe the Porsche is a bit easier than Andreas.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but some team members in one of the Porsche teams said that the Porsche is a bit easier to drive in the wet, and it should suit this track and this day. So maybe that's one of the reasons as well. Of course, Eros might be one fast guy, so he might not only be down to the car.
Yeah, Lee have been closing the gap with Andreas in the last lap. Now he is really over Andreas, but if you check both Flat Out Racing cars, both cars are putting a lot of pressure on the cars in front of them, fighting for P4 and fighting for P6 as well.
Indeed they are, and I think Lee really wants to make a pass here because he's looking at an opportunity in every corner basically. But like we have said, it's very difficult to make a clean pass here. So We really must be committed. So, time for one of our famous rundowns. Just to make an update on first to third, we still have Roland Ehnström in first, followed by Peter Duivelaar and Thor Qualman still in third. In fourth we have Andreas Löffler, as we have seen for the last. He's tightly followed by Lee Ross in the setup racing force. Fredrik Tackman is in P6 and he has pulled out a little gap now to Kevin Clark, who is now losing some time, or should I rather say that Gaiten Legas-Delois, I always say that name wrong I think, he's catching up fairly quickly now on Kevin Clark, the Project D racer that is. And he has passed Gary Lennon in the BMW, who briefly was off the race again when Gaiten made his little mistake earlier in the race, but he's down to 9th again.
Oh, Gaiten is made a spin. He lost the position back to Gary Lennon.
Yeah, and he has a pretty big dent in at the front of his car, so that might affect his race from here on. And he's off track a little bit again, so maybe some other problems as suspension problems or puncture maybe. So continuing our walkthrough of the field, John Westerlund for DMSv2 is in 10th. So far a fairly lonely race for him, but maybe that's good as well, to be able to concentrate fully on the track and not the cars behind you or in front of you. His teammate Peter Kull is in 11th, and Paul Bordeaux in the first of the Team GG Ferraris is in 12th, fairly close to Peter Kull. So we might have a battle on our hands there in a few minutes. Mikael Helen is in 13th for TBR. I also think he has had a bit of a lonely race so far.
Yeah, Andreas, Mikael is around 4 seconds and a half behind Paul Bordeaux.
Do you have any idea if he's catching up on the Frenchman?
Well, I can tell you, last lap for Mikael Helen it was 7 minutes 26 seconds, and for Paul Bordeaux it was 7 minutes 22 seconds. So Paul have been 4 seconds faster than Mikael. Maybe this is the gap they have opened now.
Yeah, maybe. Well, as a TBR driver myself, and I guess you feel the same thing as me, I hope he can gain some positions.
Yeah, let's hope for it. I am also a little part in the TBR team, so I can tell you the last lap of Mikael, it was 7 minutes 24, and it was 7 minutes 26 for Paul Bourdeau, so he already took 2 seconds from Paul. So I would say that he's closing the gap again, and maybe in some minutes we can see a fight for position 12 as well.
In P13, Getan pit in to repair his car, I think.
Yes, Getan Legasdelois has indeed gone into the pits and made some repairs to the front of his car. Well, no, he still has the dent in the car at the front, but I guess he's changed his tires or made some suspension repairs. And he came out in P15 again. So all the guys in front of him went up 1 position.
Exactly.
So in yeah, David?
Yeah, no, I was about to say that, I think the same than you, Andreas, that we have Julian Duivelaar in position 13 and Ludovic Cogotti in position 14. It's a French fight.
Yeah, and Getan is just behind these two as well in 15, so maybe this is the battle on the track so at the moment.
Yeah, they are in a second, in the same second almost.
Oh.
So maybe we should.
And Cogotti makes a move as the Festner goes off in the right-hander.
Yeah,
and he
it
lost
was
2 positions.
Julian, exactly. Julian Duivelaar is now in position 15.
Yeah, he made a bit of a mistake. He went a bit wide and out in the gravel trap. Easy, very easy to do on this track. And that corner is the braking into that corner is quite hard. You come from a very fast part of the track where it's flat out for I don't know how many seconds, but it's a long time. And shifting down, I think, to, let's say, 2nd gear, I think, most of the guys use. And
okay,
in the wet, it must be a bit more worse than in the dry, so... But
yeah,
it's up on the track.
Guys,
continuing our walkthrough, of course, forgot about it a little bit.
Andreas, let me interrupt you, only 1 second. Let me say that we have David Clark from Flatout Club in making his first pit stop. Maybe he had a problem because I would say that it's too early to make a pit stop, but he's pitting out at the moment.
Okay, thanks for the information, David. So, Neil Gault for Black Visor Motorsport down in P16. And it seems almost like he has a little dent on the left front of his car. Not a big dent, so maybe he has touched the wall briefly. Continuing to Christer Larsson in P17 in the gorgeous Corvette. Of course, driving for Blue Flag Racing.
Yeah, it's really great. The paint job in the Corvette, it's amazing. It's one of the cars I like the most in the grid.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the top 2, I think, in my point of view.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned before, his teammate Mikael Larsson has ended the race, so he's the only Blue Flag racer left in the race. So hopefully he can bring it past the finish line to score the first points for the Blue Flag Racing team. Behind him we have Mike Wrightson in 18 for DHR Fanatec. A lonely race for him as well. I think I haven't seen much cars around him. And behind him in the last running spot at the moment, David Clark. of course, as he pitted, or was it Kevin Clark who pitted, David? No, it must have been David Clark.
Yeah, exactly. It was David Clark.
Yep, and he has a pretty beat up car, it seems like. Dents all over the place, but he's still in the race, so kudos for him.
Yes, and it's very important in the end to complete the races. I think it really doesn't it's not that important to end the race in the top spots or in the last spots, but ending the race itself. I mean, not all the teams will complete all the races, so if you race 2 cars or 4 cars of your teams on track, it is already very important.
Indeed it is. So, 19 cars still on track after almost 40 minutes of racing, and maybe soon we will get the first planned pit stops. What do you guys think? Is it?
Let me interrupt you. We have Andreas Loeffler hit a wall very, very hard. I would say his car is very damaged, but
yeah,
he was lucky because yeah, exactly. The incident was in the entrance of the pit lane, so he's now in the pits.
Yeah, right after the long straight going into that chicane, I guess he missed his braking point a little bit and went straight into the wall.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Hopefully he can rejoin the track again. He had a pretty good speed out there.
Well,
so
now
that promotes.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, David. Okay. I was just gonna say that Lee Ross is now up to 4th for flat out racing, so a really good race for him.
Yes, now we have Lee Ross and Kevin Clark, both flat out cars in position 4 and 5. So looks like they were victorious on their fights.
Yeah, and Kevin Clark must have passed Barry Tuckman then, or maybe Tuckman made a mistake. We will never know. But he's passed him, so great race so far for the flat out team.
Okay, we have Andreas Loeffler out of the pits already in position 11. But even with the hit, if his car is repaired, he made the pit stop in a very good point of the race, a bit earlier than the half of the race, a bit before, so maybe he can recover some position on the grid.
Yeah, looking at the time frame, it was I don't know if it's an English phrase, but he had luck while he had bad luck. It works better in Swedish. But yeah, lucky that he crashed, if you can say so, while being midway through the race, so he can make a good pit stop. He was out on the grass again, so maybe he's pushing very, very hard, or maybe he still has some problems with his car.
Yeah.
So, going back up. Yeah, going back up the order to see if Roland Ehnström still has his gap on Peter Duivelaar, and he actually has the gap, but it's not very big. It's what can be 2-3 seconds between the two, and it has been like that the entire race pretty much, or at least after Thor Qualman made his couple of mistakes.
Yes, I can tell you the gap at this point. It's 2 seconds and 5 from Roland to Peter, and Thor is 21 seconds far. So I think Thor should be thinking about keeping position 3 because the lead, and he's far from Lee in position 4.
And I want to say that what a pity for RPM, because they are making a brilliant home race with Peter in second position, and they lost one car due to software problems, due to a famous runtime error that dropped Bram out of this race before it started, and I think they both had a pace to be in the top places, in the top 10. So I think it's a pity for them, because they will lose a lot of points in the race.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it. We haven't mentioned it at all during the race, but you're definitely right about that. Our second RPM driver for the day was supposed to be Bram Hendrevald, but suffered some technical problems, which is a real shame, as it's their home race and everything.
We are missing you, Bram, I have to say, but I am pretty sure we will see you soon in next races. So you should start preparing next event, and we will be really glad to see you running.
Yeah, and he has said that he's a bit of a Nordschleife expert, so we didn't get to see that, sadly.
Yeah, it's bad luck. It really sucks when this kind of problems let you out of an event.
Yep, but it's still early in the season. I mean, RPM will be fighting for the championship win, I think. They won it the first year and came second last year, so... or last season, I should say. So, Peter Duivelaar still in second. Not really catching Roland Ehnström, but not dropping off anything either, so status quo between them.
Well, the gap is increased to 4 seconds now. So looks like Roland is pushing very hard. Now with Peter, now Roland is on pit. Roland Ehnström is...
Yeah, Roland is pitting.
And
the leader is in the pits. Yeah, David?
No, I was about to say the same. And Peter still on track. So maybe this can be the difference. Maybe this can sentence the race.
Let's see, will he come back out in third? I think he will.
I would say this is the best moment to make a pit stop. Maybe on this lap, or maybe when Andreas Loeffler pitted some minutes ago, but not after, because fresh tires are always a good motive for being fast on track.
Yes, indeed. And the earlier you pit, well, not the earlier, but if you pit like Roland did here, at least one lap before Peter, then he will have an advantage the full lap around this long track, and he can really push it, and while Peter will have to still be a bit careful to not overdo any corners, and that way Roland can open up the gap a little bit further. But then again, he might suffer a bit more at the end, so...
Yes, but once you are in the front, you have to care about defending your position, not about overtaking, so it's easier, I would say, even if your tires are in a worse situation. Okay,
yeah,
let me interrupt you one second, Andreas, because we had a lot of action already in the pit, both flat-out racing cars and Frederick Tackman, Gary Lennon, and John Westerlund have been already in the pit. Maybe we should move there and see some action, guys.
And Loeffler is in again, so I suppose he didn't take any new tires, or maybe he didn't take any fuel when he was in, so that's a pity. He will lose a bit more this time, I think.
Yeah, these are not good news for the TBR.
And I wonder when Peter will pit in, because I think it will be a very nice fight in the pits. They were really close before Roland entered the pit, so I'm wanting to see what happens when Peter exit the pit lane.
Well, the gap from Peter to Roland now it's 35 seconds. I don't really think it's enough to keep position 1 to Peter, and also Roland is on track without traffic, so he has fresh air in front. He can be fast. There is nobody to interrupt his line, so. Let's see what happens. At the moment, the gap is increasing because Roland is with the full tank and Peter is with empty tank. So now gap from Peter to Roland. As you saying, it will be interesting anyway. It will be very interesting.
So the biggest fight at the moment on track is for P10, as Andreas Loeffler is being followed by Peter Kull, or Peter Kull with the Swedish pronunciation. Maybe it's more correct.
Hey Andreas, it sounds really cool.
I mean Peter Kull.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
Okay. I get it.
Oh my god, horrible joke. Kick this guy from the broadcast, please.
Anyway, it seems to me that Loeffler might be actually pulling away a bit from Peter here. They were a bit closer before. And I'm a bit amazed that Loeffler hasn't fallen back any more than he has done. I mean, 2 pit stops and still in P10. That's good news for TBR.
Yes, indeed. My question is now, Andreas, who is on track without making his pit stop? A part of Peter Duivelaar.
Thor Qualman hasn't hit it as well.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, but Kevin Clark might not have hit it, or has he? As at least partly Ross. But that doesn't really matter as it's a team event and both driving for the same team, but maybe he hasn't hit it.
Yes, but they both have already pitted. I was checking the pits when they were in. Okay, I'm following closely Peter Duivelaar. I think he will stop in this lap. So we have to be ready to move very quick to the front of the pack, guys. He's now passing through. Yeah, exactly. Peter is pitting in. We should move quickly to the front of the pack, guys.
Okay, so Peter Duivelaar is in the pits, and Thor Qualman is also in the pits, but I think Roland Ehnström just passed both of them, so maybe he has been able to pull out a really big gap here. So maybe it was the right tactical move by the DMSv driver.
Wow, now the gap is really big from Roland to Peter. It's 23 seconds.
Yeah, that's really big. He pulled out about 20 seconds there on that pit stop then.
Yes, and I'm with you, Andreas, about the fresh tires, the new tires strategy. If in a normal circuit like Silverstone, you can win some seconds in a lap. In Nordschleife, a lap means 3 or 4 laps at Silverstone. So, being an extra lap with all tires here, it can mean 20 C.
Yes, indeed. Okay, big fight going on for P16 as Neil Golt tries to fend off Mike Wrightson. Neil Golt in the BVM BMW and Wrightson in the DHR Fanatec Porsche. Closest fight on the track, so we will stay with them for a little while. As Wrightson is really chasing hard here to make a pass. DHR Fanatec, who made a really strong appearance in the Silverstone race, is really, yeah, they really seem strong this year. They had some difficulties last year, but they really seem to have gained a lot of experience, and they are really on it this time around. And Mike Wrightson makes the pass on Neil Golt for 16th position. The BVM driver having a bit of a difficult time here. BVM, who made a really strong race in Silverstone, picked up a lot of points. And Mike Wrightson is going into the pits, so Neil Golt will take that position back. So P4, I think there is a big fight going on with Lee Ross and Thor Qualman, who has lost a couple of positions, and Qualman is taking the position back. He puts the power down with his Corvette and just accelerates past Lee Ross in his Porsche.
Yes, now he is in a kind of sandwich through between the two flat-out cars, Andreas.
Yeah, and David, do you have any idea what's happened to Thor? As he was in third before, or did he suffer through the pit stops? Maybe he suffered like Peter did and made a pit stop a bit too late.
Well, not sure, because if you pit in later, you will be less time taking fuel, so I don't think he lost that time in the pits of problem with the tire selection in the pit stop, and maybe he had some problems on track later, but not sure.
And one guy wanting to join this battle is Qualman, who's just a few seconds behind, not even that maybe behind Lee Ross. Lee Ross spins out. Coming out of the carousel, he gets on the power a bit too early and he spins out and gets a really big dent in the front bumper. I hope nothing serious happened to the car though, and it does seem as it works properly. But he lost a bit of ground on the guys in front now.
Yes, he's 4 seconds far from Fredrik Takman. And you were right, Andreas, when you were saying that Fredrik was catching up the guys in front, and now he's only around 2 seconds far from. I would say that in some minutes we will have a huge fight for position 3 with Kevin Clark, Thor Qualman and Fredrik Takman.
Yeah, it's about a second or two between all of these guys. So, but you're right, Takman is really gaining on Qualman at the moment.
Okay, Lee Ross have been in the garage again. He have lost a couple of more seconds.
Danielsson Motorsport Virtual is looking to gain a lot of points in this race, with Roland Ehnström in first and Fredrik Takman in fifth. So they look really strong this year. And remember, it's the first full season. I think they made 2 or 3 rounds in the Blue Cup, and still managed to score a lot of points in those few rounds they did. So they are definitely one of the contenders for the championship. So, David, maybe we should make a walkthrough, at least top 10 or something, just to get everybody updated after the pit stops. Roland Ehnström is in first position. yeah, Roland is still in first position, and he seems to have this one in his hands. Only a mistake, I think, can really end the happiness for the DMSv team. Peter Duivelaar is still in second. And do you know the gap between these two, David?
Yeah, sure, it's 21 seconds now, from Roland to Peter.
Okay, so it's pretty much the same. Peter has gained a couple of seconds only. I think Roland has it all under control. And then there is, well, it's not a fight, at least not yet, but for P3, 4 and 5 we have Kevin Clark for Flat Out Racing, Thor Qualman for DHRGP, and Fredrik Tackman for DMSv, or Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. A long name.
Yes.
There are still 1 or 2 seconds between between the guys, and yeah, I think it has a good potential to be a good fight. Yeah, David.
Yeah, I think it will be a fight at the end, and I have to say the gap from Kevin Clark to Fredrik Tackman with Thor Qualman in the middle, it's only 6 seconds, so they are very close.
Okay, we have had some technical problems, and we're really sorry for it, but it seems like we are back up running again, so maybe we should make a new walkthrough of the guys so far. In P1 we have Roland Ehnström for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. In second place we have Peter Duivelaar, about 20 seconds behind Roland in of course riding for Roaring Pipe Maniacs. Kevin Clark is in third, and he's very closely followed, well, not very closely followed, but there is about a second to Thor Qualman in the DHR GP Corvette. And I think we really have a potential fight going on here for P3, and maybe even Fredrik Tackman from DMSv is able to join this battle. Lee Ross, after spinning out earlier, is down to P6 for Flat Out Racing. Jerry Lennon in P7 and Andreas Löffler in P8. That's a small update for all of you. So let's stay with the fight for P3 then. David, Thor Qualman is gaining a bit of time now, and maybe Kevin Clark is getting a bit nervous. What do you think?
Well, if I was Kevin Clark, I would be nervous, obviously, because the gap is reduced to less than a second now, so the mirror of Kevin Clark is full of black and blue now.
And Thor is still sliding around all over the place as he was before, so maybe he's wearing his tire shroud again. It seems like he did it before the pit stop, and maybe he's doing it again, but at the moment he's very, very quick.
Yes, in fact, Thor has the second fastest lap of the race after Roland Ehnström, so with 7 minutes 5 seconds, so he can push. I think he can push over on the flat out car. The last lap for Thor, it was 7 minutes 18 seconds.
And they will soon enter the long straight.
Yes, it was 7 minutes 14 seconds for Kevin Clark, so I am not sure who is fastest at this point, and Andreas.
Okay, maybe he has made up his pace a little bit, Kevin Clark, to ensure to hold Thor behind him. But now they are entering the long straight, and let's see if the Corvette power can be of any use here, as he will try to get the slipstream of the Porsche. And yeah, here it comes. Now let's see if he can make anything out of this. The track will go a bit to the left, and then I think he will have the inside line after that little left kink. But the Porsche is pulling away a little bit, so he's stuck in again. So, no, not really. It was a good try, but couldn't make it stick. Oh, but Kevin goes a little bit wide, and he's there. And he will get the inside into the last corner, definitely. Oh, a little bit of a touch there. Oh, and Kevin is still in front. Hard driving there.
Yeah.
Hard driving.
Yeah. For me, Thor won the position clearly, but he was really fair, giving room to the flat-out driver. So, but in my opinion, the position was for DHR. And the overtake was already done. I don't know what could happen there.
Now they touched a little bit, so maybe they Thor felt that he will have another chance at a later stage of the race. But the Qualman is closing in again on this, so maybe we will have a three-way battle.
Yes, the question, Andreas, is that there are no more opportunities to overtake.
Yeah, I think he felt like he could wait for another 7 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be really full of patience.
Yeah. And well, he's leaving a little bit of a gap now. Maybe it was a chance.
Let me tell you that Andreas Loeffler is again on the pit, and possibly he will lose position 11 with Paul Bourdais.
I think he will. Paul is in the last corner now into the start-finish straight.
I don't really know if Andreas have had a problem with the car, or maybe with the refueling, because it looks to me like if he didn't took enough fuel to complete the race.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. I can also tell you all that Christer Larsson has been into the wall and lost his front splitter, and he has about half a lap to the pits. I really hope he can manage to get back to the pits and out on the track again, because they need the points. And Kevin Clark has a big slider, and Thor Qualman gets past. And I think they were about to lap David Clark actually. Maybe that was had something to do with it. I didn't see it, but Thor Qualman is now back into position 3. And well,
yeah.
I think he said thank you and just went by.
Yeah, I wonder what could have happened there.
I don't think it was because the lap car, because I think David Clark was really out of the track to give room to this car. So I think it was Kevin's mistake. I don't think it was because David Clark.
It's a tricky corner that Crystal Apex right-hander going into a hard braking point, so it might as well be in Kevin's fault.
Well, there is a fact. The fact is that Frederick Tagman is closing the gap with the guys in front. He really have visual contact. So if Thor Qualman and Kevin Clark start a fight for P3 again, I think Frederick will get in touch with them in this lap.
Yeah, and well, Thor is not really pulling away from Kevin. Kevin is sticking in there and trying to hang on to the Corvette. And just as I checking around in the field, Peter Duivelaar was just out in the gravel trap, not for long, but for a couple of seconds, and he must have lost another 5 to maybe between 5 and 10 seconds, I think. So yeah, he's really trying to catch up with Roland, but I think it's impossible. It's about 15 minutes to go, so I think he should settle for P2. And just to give you guys an update on Christer Larsen, is still on the track without the front splitter. Trying to get the car past the start-finish line. Or the finish line, I should say. Now he goes into the pits, so it was a long lap for him. A good job to getting it back to the pits. As he's being lapped by Roland Ehnström. So, Kevin Clark still sticking to Thor Qualman, but Fredrik Tuckman is getting closer and closer. And do you think we will have a three-way fight, or do you think Thor Qualman will be able to pull away from these two, and we will have a two-man fight?
Well, not sure, but I think both things will be difficult. Will be difficult for them to catch up Thor if he maintains his pace, but also for him to open a gap with them. I think they are racing in the same lap times, more or less. So I think it will be decided by a mistake.
We have seen a couple of mistakes so far in the race, but not as many as I thought it would be. I thought there would be a lot more incidents, but yeah, good drivers out there, so they know what they are doing. So P3, closest fight on the track. So Qualman, Kevin Clark, and the Tuckman. The Tuckman is really close now to Kevin Clark. I think it's much easier also when you're able to see your opponents in front of you and you get that eye contact with them, and it's much easier to reel them in. And but at the same time, Fredrik has been on the pace now for a couple of laps and just managed to get slowly in contact with these two in front of him. So David, who do you think will win this battle for position 3?
Well, now it looks like Thor opened a little gap with Kevin. And looks like, there is a little spin. Yeah. I was saying that Frederick... Yeah, exactly. I was saying that Frederick was closing in to Kevin, but that at this time he was spinning. So I would say that Thor will keep the position 3. But again, if we check Thor, he's having problems with the tires. He's sliding a lot, really a lot. So I am not sure.
Yeah, maybe it will be something like it was before the pit stops. He made a mistake, and if I were Kevin Clark, I wouldn't give up, because he has been fast all day, and he's really not losing a lot of time on tour. So just sticking there, Kevin Clark.
Andreas, let me tell you before we start the roundup again. Let me tell you that Roland Ehnström made the fastest lap of the race 1 lap ago with 7 minutes 4 seconds. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a really fast lap considering the track is a bit damp, and but he is an alien. We all know that. So he's a fast guy.
I have one question for you, Andre. If he's an alien, what national anthem will we hear? Will we listen if he win the race? The Mars one?
No, because we put the teams one, so we don't have that problem.
Oh, okay. It's allowed to have extra planetary drivers.
Yeah. Anyway, Roland of course in P1 and Peter Duivelaar in P2 and Thor Qualman in P3. Kevin Clark still in P4, so we are going backwards to check out the other positions. Fredrik Sackman is still in P5. Were you about to say something, David?
Well, only I was about to say that Roland Ehnström crossed the start-finish line some seconds ago, so we will have 2 more laps in the race.
Okay then, so 2 more laps. Still a long way to go though. Behind Fredrik Sackman we have V. Ross with a huge dent at the front of the car after a spin earlier on, as he was I think in P3 or 4 or something like that. But he's still in P6 for Flat Out Racing. Flat Out Racing is looking for a really good result with Kevin Clark in 4th. In P7 we have Gary Lennon. The first one of the Black Visor Motorsport BMWs. He's doing a really good job there in P7. A bit lonely race though, but at least the second half. And then we have the two Danielsson Motorsport Virtual 2 Corvettes. Peter Kuhl is followed by John Westerlund in 8th and 9th. Quite close together, but I don't think they will do anything to attack each other. Then in P10 we have Paul Bordeaux, the first Team GG Ferrari, who has made a really solid race. And then we have the first of the Project D Porsches in P11, Ludovic Cugotti, with one huge dent on the front right and a little bit smaller one on the left front. Still in the race though. And Project D is going to make up some points in this race as well. They made a really strong race in Silverstone and they will continue that point streak here. The first of the Black Rebels is Mikael Hellen. He's in P12 and well, has had a pretty lonely race at least what I have seen, but still in the race and taking some good points. And then we have Gaten Legastelois with a really banged up nose on his car, and it's amazing he's still in the race. I think he had a really big hit to the wall before, but again, Project D picking up some valuable points.
Okay, Andreas, let me interrupt you only 1 second. We have Julien Dufresne from Team GG out of the race. He is on pit now. Looks like he had some mechanical failure.
Well, that's sad to hear. Having some problems here in the TeamSpeak with my fellow commentator. Some communications problems. Well, that's sad to hear for Team GG.
Yeah, it is very sad. But well, this is racing, Andreas, I guess.
Yeah, it is, and maybe he still finished 75% of the race. Maybe he did, maybe not. We will find out at the end of the race, at least. Let's continue with the walkthrough of the field with Andreas Löffler in P14, and I think he has done like 3 or 4 pit stops, and not the race that he was looking for. He was initially in P4, but have lost 10 places since his first visit to the wall.
Okay. We have Thor Qualman in a wall. He lost 2 positions. He's in P5 now. Sorry for the interruption, but
no, it's okay.
He had a very hard hit with a wall. I think his car is very rich now, and
yes.
he have a gap over Lee Ross in P6 of 12 seconds, but I am sure the gap open because the hit was very severe.
Yeah, he lost his the front of the car, so yeah, not good for him. But he's still in the race, and he just to make sure to pick home some points. So shame for BHR GP. And well, let's go through the field again as Neil Golta is under attack by Mike Wrightson, I think it is. Yes, it is for P15, and Wrightson passes him. And I think they did it before as well, but Mike Wrightson went into the pits and he had to catch him up again and then pass him pretty much on the same way as before. So Neil Gold for Black Weiser Motorsport is down to 16th. And yeah, that's all who's left in the race. 16 cars. Are you surprised by the number of cars left in the race, David?
Yes, I was really expecting the half of the grid. So yes, it's not really bad.
No, I was wrong. Chris Larsen is still in the race with the repaired car, of course, in P17, so good for Blue Flag Racing.
Yes, and also it's David Clark from Flatout Club that is in position 19 because he has to recover his position with Julien Dufresne that is out of the race. So it's 18 cars finishing the race, or at least reaching the last lap.
Yeah, that's correct. I got a bit distracted there by Julian's name still being on top of both David and Chris's. That's why I was a bit confused. But good to have you in the booth, yeah. David. You know everything.
Okay, let me make a short interruption to say that Roland Ehnström is starting now the final lap. He's crossing the start-finish line right now. And also that David Clark from Flatout Club made already his 5th or 6th pit stop. He was in the same case that Andreas Loeffler. He have done a lot of pit stops already.
Yep. So maybe we should follow Roland Ehnström on his final lap here in the Nordschleife.
Yes, but I think we can wait a little bit because there's a fight for the podium.
Oh, and Kevin Clark is a bit off track. No, Fredrik Tackman just passed Kevin Clark as he made a mistake going, I think, out on a long straight. Yeah. So Fredrik Tackman took 3rd.
Yes, Fredrik Tackman took 3rd position from Kevin Clark, and also, as I was saying before, Thor Qualman lost position 5 with Ross, Flatout Racing. Now the gap with Gary Lennon P7 is really big, it's almost a minute. But see, I think that Thor up for repairing his car, so maybe he lost more positions. He lose more positions.
Yeah, maybe he will definitely need to drive another lap at least. So that's another 7 minutes for him around this kind of track with a broken front of the car. So maybe it's wise to go into the pits.
Yeah, exactly. And Andreas, now you say that thing about an extra lap. One question is coming to me now. Do you think that we will have some extra pit stops from people with not enough fuel to complete the race?
I have no idea actually. I haven't thought much about it. I mean, there is a possibility, as I know, our teammate Vicente Garcia had problems with the fuel in the last race, and maybe it's a bit more trickier here when you're really on the throttle a lot around this track.
Yes,
so it might be an issue.
7 minutes.
Yeah, and Roland Ehnström already passed the car finish line for his last lap. The guy passing the line now still has a lap, so you might be right there. It might be an issue.
Okay, by the way, we have Thor Qualman already on pit, and I think Gary Lennon and possibly Peter Kuhl and John Westerlund will take Thor position. Not really sure, but will be very close.
Gary will pass him.
Yeah, exactly. interrupt you guys. Peter Kuhl already overtook Thor Qualman, but he made a mistake and he went out of the track. He made a great spin, and Thor Qualman recovered position 7 over Peter Kuhl.
Okay, so Peter Kuhl down to 9th again then. And David Clark goes into the pits again. Do you think Kevin Clark will have anything to do against Fredrik Tackman now that he has gone past? He is losing a bit of time, but it's still Nordschleife.
Yes, well, maybe Fredrik makes a mistake, or maybe Kevin makes a mistake. The gap now is around 2 seconds and a half, maybe a bit more. So, well, we have to wait and see.
So then Roland Ehnström about to bring home a victory for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. And what a drive he has done. Just a few corners left and a long straight.
Yeah, and not a single mistake, Andreas. By the way, let me tell you that Andreas Loeffler is again on pit. I don't know what's wrong with the car or with the presets with the wheel, or for one more time he's on pit again.
So he's having a rough race.
Yeah. Okay, we were talking about Roland, Andreas. Not a single mistake in more than 90 minutes race. It will be around 100 minutes race in Nordschleife. It's very important, and he really made a great job.
Yep, dominant drive by him, I must say, because he also made his pit stop at the right time. Basically, let Peter Duivelaar drive another lap around the track with the worn tires, as Roland goes into the chicane for the last time and soon enters the last turn of the last lap. As he slides out of the turn and he crosses the finish line in P1. A huge congratulations to Danielsson Motorsport Virtual and Roland Ehnström. And Peter Duivelaar will come home in P2 for the home team, the Roaring Paint Maniacs, after a really well done performance.
Okay, you will have a surprise in position 3, Andreas. Or maybe not.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, David, but Fredrik Tackman is still in 3rd place, and I don't think it's a surprise. Sure, he has fought his way up the grid throughout the race, and he has made a terrific race, and he will bring home a 1-3 for Danielsson Motorsport, and that's a lot of points.
Yes, I was adding some tension to the broadcast, but obviously there is no surprise, and Fredrik also made a great race in his pace, waiting for his chance, and finally overtaking Thor, overtaking the flat-out cars. He really did as well.
Indeed he did. So first for Roland Ehnström, second for Peter Duivelaar, and third for Fredrik Tackman. Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, Roaring Paint Maniacs, and Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. Kevin Clark for Flat Out Racing will finish in 4th after a great race from him as well. A couple of small mistakes that put him off the podium, I should say, but still a terrific race for the young Flat Out racer.
Yes, and after the Silverstone problems for Flat Out, they get a P4 and a P5, so I would say that this is a very good result.
Yes, it's a very, very good result. And as I say, Lee Ross for Flat Out Racing in 5th, also a very good result. So, well, Flat Out Racing. Oh, and we have a fight for P6 with the Thor Qualman attacking Gary Lennon out in a long straight, and I think he will be able to pass him. So Thor Qualman will be able to save P6 for DHR GP. That's good for them. I mean, he's had a difficult race, despite being up there fighting for the top spots. But yeah, and he really pulls away from Gary. I don't know. I think Gary has run out of fuel. He has run out of fuel. And John Westerlund just passed him for 7th, so Gary Lennon is down to 8th. What a climax for the Black Bison Motorsport. And he might be passed by a couple of other guys as well. Paul Bordeaux in 9th and Ludwig Kogotti in 10th are having a fight, and they are not far behind. And I don't think he will be able to pass the finish line, David. Oh, he's really trying.
Yes,
one corner to go, and yeah, he has to pull off.
This is really bad luck for Gary Lennon and the Black Bisons. But, well, this is what we were talking about one lap before, Andreas.
Yeah, I mean, so close to the finish line, and Paul Bordeaux finishes 8th ahead of Ludwig Kogotti in 9th, and they had a little fight at the end. And Peter Kull will finish 10th, and he has lost his front splitter. Maybe he did it when he spun on the beginning of the last lap. But Peter Kull finishing 10th for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual 2.
I think everybody on track made a really consistent race, and even if there was a big gap from the front to the back, there were no big mistakes, or I saw a very good race from everybody.
Yeah, and Mikael Hellen for TBR finishes in 11th, and Andreas Löffler will then finish in 13th, I think, as he visited the grass a little bit there, but not a biggie. Gaten Legasdeleos, that was totally wrong. Legasdelois, I should say. I will have to write an apology to him after the race, I think.
Well, and Roland Ehnström won the race, and is from Swedish team, so Andreas, you can put your hand in your in your chest. We will listen to the Swedish national anthem.
Oh, I won't sing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Swedish national anthem, I should say, for Roland Ehnström and the Danielsson Motorsport virtual team, as they won the Nordschleife race. Not the usual 90 minutes race, but it became a 100 minutes race. So well done to them, and well done to his teammate Fredrik Tackman for finishing third, and between them we also had Peter Duivelaar in second. So let's call in Roland Ehnström for an interview. Welcome, Roland. Congratulations to the victory, and also 1-3 for the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual.
Thank you.
How is your feelings?
It's great. I love this track, and I've practiced very, very hard for this race. So I'm so glad that I could pull this win off.
Well, you definitely are a fast guy, and it seemed like no mistake at all, and just pulled out a gap there at the pit stop. Tell us about the race, how it was from your point of view.
Yeah, I had a couple of small arrows. I cut some grass, but only lost 1 or 2 seconds. Never lost the lead. I made a pit stop 1 lap earlier than the others, and I think I gained a lot of time on that, and I also think I gained some time by starting with some more fuel than the other guys in the top.
How was the track then? It was damp, but did you went for wet or did you went for slick tires?
I had slick tires. I think everyone had. It was just a little bit damp. It was a bit dangerous because it was more wet outside the preferred racing line. So if you made a small mistake, it could end up with big consequences.
David, do you have any questions for Roland?
Yeah, sure. Congratulations for the win, Roland, and for the pole.
Thanks.
I would like to know, at the beginning of the race, there were 2 cars following you. It was Peter and Thor Qualman from DHR. They were putting a lot of pressure on you, Roland. How did you to manage that pressure?
Well, I know this on this track it's almost impossible to overtake anywhere except the long straight unless you make a mistake. So I just took things pretty easy in the twisty parts, and towards the end of the lap I tried to build a small gap for the straight.
Okay. There was really a close fight at the beginning, and I have to congratulate you for the strategy you followed today. I think it really worked, and you won a lot of time, as you say, with the cars fighting for the podium places.
Yeah, the strategy was perfect, and I also want to thank my race engineers and the team. And also team owner Alex Danielsson, who is a really great guy to give us sim races a chance to come closer to the real thing. And also I want to send my congratulations to my teammate Fredrik Tackman, who made a superb race. He was actually not he was a reserve driver for this race, and he came in with not so much practice, and started in the middle of the field, and he made a great race, and they came up on the podium, so congratulations to him also.
Yeah, that was indeed a really great result for the entire team. So thank you, Roland, for the interview, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
So we will have Fredrik Tackman and Peter Duivelaar. Maybe we should take Peter Duivelaar first. And Peter, welcome to the booth, and congratulations to a great race.
Thank you.
Tell us about the race. In the beginning, you had a big fight with Thor Qualman and Roland Ehnström. Tell us about it from your point of view.
Well, I'm happy that I could keep up with the pace of Thor and Roland. And actually, the first stint went very well. Only the pit stop strategy of Roland was smarter than mine. He went 1 lap earlier into the pit, so he gained a big advantage for the rest of the race.
Other than that, I think you had pretty much the same speed as Roland, because when you came out of the pits, I think you were 23 seconds behind, and it stayed pretty much like that till the end. So that must feel really good to be as fast as Roland Ehnström.
Yes, I'm indeed very happy with the result.
David, any questions for Peter?
Yes, first of all, congratulations, Peter. I think you made a superb race without mistakes, and I have to say that the only mistake we saw from our point of view, it was the strategy that worked much better for Roland than for you. But how did you saw the race, Peter, especially the last part after the pit stop? Did you have the sensation of closing the gap with Roland any time, or thinking about getting and secure the second position?
Well, when I came out of the pits and I saw I was 20 seconds behind Roland, I already knew that I couldn't catch him up again. So I just kept my second position and drove safely to the end.
Okay, congratulations again, Peter.
Thank you.
So that was Peter Duivelaar, and we will also bring in the third place man, Fredrik Tackman, for an interview. Fredrik, welcome up to the booth, and congratulations to a fine third place and a 1-3 positions, 1-3 finish for the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual.
Yeah, thank you. That was nice.
What a drive! I mean, getting a lot of positions on track and managing to get up on a podium. Tell us about the race from your point of view.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy, even if I was far behind 1 and 2, and I was standing this race, and the original driver had the computer problems, so I had been training a little with Roland's call setup, and then I got the race setup with a completely different gearbox, so I had a little bit of trouble from the start with heavy fuel, but it came to me in the second stint, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, you should definitely be happy. Tell us about the last when you passed Kevin Clark. What really happened there? Did he go wide, or what happened?
Yeah, before the long straight at the end, I knew he would be afraid, because I think my car was a bit faster and I had better tires, it seems to. So he made it a little wide and lost all his tempo there.
Okay, David, do you have any questions for Fredrik?
Well, again, say congratulations, because it was, in my opinion, one of the unexpected finishers. You, Fredrik, started the race from the back. You had a constant pace with no mistakes, and you really deserve to be in position 3. I have to say you made a perfect race. I don't know what's your sensation when you start overtaking other cars and recovering positions during the race.
Well, it was more other mistakes, and I could take advantage of them. I had a nice fight with Kevin Clark in the first stint, where he was much faster than me, but it's a really gentleman racer. It was really fun.
Yes, I saw you fighting for position 5 and 6 already in the start of the race, And you both managed to end position 3 and 4. So congratulations again, Frederick.
Thank you, and thank you for nice work with this league.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Fredrik.
Tackar.
So everybody, that's pretty much sums it up for today. If you don't have anything else to say, Jose and David.
Well, no, not really. I think it was a good race, a good show, and hope to have all our audience in the next race in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and hopefully Eckhart will be back, so you don't have to be dragged around with me all the time.
No, you did. I think you did a really cool job, Andreas, and also I think it was a Swedish commentator for a Swedish win. So
yeah, that's good. I should have commentated in Swedish.
That would be too easy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody, and also Daniel Balfour wants to say hi. So. Yeah, see you guys next time.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks at Le Mans, so we can promise already an interesting race and an interesting broadcast.
Yep. So over and out.